So this is the Satsuma Orange Tree, and this is the first year it's been fruiting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pinch off all the flowers or all the bulbs on here. It's flowered, and I have tiny little oranges. And it's really important to pinch off all the flowers in the first year because you want the roots and the foliage to grow throughout the first year that it flowers, because you don't really want to have fruit on here. Now I'm going to cheat a little bit and I'm going to leave one or two fruits on here. Now typically what they tell you is when you're pinching off these tiny little flowers, if it wasn't the first year and it's, let's say, the third or fourth or fifth time that's been fruiting, you're supposed to wait until it's dime size, like on these pear trees over there. When the fruit is dime size is when you pinch them off and leave only one per branch or one per segment. But I'm going to go ahead and on these Satsuma orange trees, I'm going to go ahead and while they're still small, I'm going to go ahead and pinch them all off because there's just a crap load of them. And I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to leave one on each of the main two branches. You know, there's a few other smaller branches, but there's basically two major stems. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave two of the tiny little buds that have formed on here. And what I'll do is I'll wait until they become dime size, and then I'll thin it out even again and leave just one on each of the main branches. So that way, it's pretty notorious on fruit trees and lime trees like this Meyer lemon tree where you might leave two bulbs on a single particular branch, and for whatever reason, one of them will shrivel up and die or just naturally fall off. It's just the way it happens. And so in order to make sure that I get at least two oranges, one on each branch, what I'll do is I'll leave two of the little buds on there. And then when it becomes both dime size and it looks like they're going to stay on, I'll go ahead and thin them so there's only one more actual fruiting bud on each of these main branches. So that's what I'll do with the Meyer lemon tree, the Satsuma orange tree today. And then what I'm also going to do is you can tell that some of these more mature leaves, you'll notice that you're getting a little bit of yellow coloring on these leaves. That basically means that it needs a little bit more fertilizer, and the reason for that is it's kind of in the fruiting mode at this period of time, and so you want to make sure that you go ahead and give it a little bit of a boost in fertilizer. And I mean, I'm giving it plenty of light. I have a lot of grow lights that are exactly tuned to handle fruit trees, but I need to go ahead and give it a kind of a boost. And I was giving it once every 3 weeks, but it tells you on the Dynagrow Foliage Pro that you're supposed to really do it twice a month, once every 2 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I got the mix set up today, and so I'm going to go ahead and spray all the indoor fruit trees, spray the leaves and the foliage, and give it a kind of a boost on the fertilizer side. So that's what I'm going to do today. And just FYI, this is a mini oregano plant, and then I have catnip growing, and then I have cilantro growing. Cilantro grows pretty good even in the very early spring, late winter. I went ahead and started a few extra pots and sowed those in pots, and they handle the cold weather pretty well. So that's what I kind of basically did today in terms of a little bit of my pre-gardening. You can grow cabbage, cauliflower, and cabbage here in the late winter. Sow them indoors, get them started on the seedlings, and then about 4 to 6 weeks later, you can go ahead and bring them outside even in the really cold, sometimes freezing temperature, because they can handle they're cold hardy plants. And I went ahead today and sprayed off my little containers that I'm going to grow lettuce in. These will be good for the Kratky style watering system. I'll go ahead and once the lettuce leaf and the butter crunch lettuce has grown, I'll put them into each of the 9 little spots there that I have in the containers, and I'll grow my butter crunch and my red leaf lettuce that way. And so inside the car there, kind of warming up and growing here in the bright sunshine today, sunny day today here in zone 8. I'll go ahead and keep on growing this butter crunch lettuce and red leaf lettuce. But everything looks pretty good so far. But anyways, getting back to this Satsuma Orange Tree, um, there's quite a few fruit buds here. It flowered like crazy here a few weeks ago. And I'm going to go ahead and pinch off all but two of the little fruits that are forming on the two main branches. And then I'll go ahead and thin them down to one when they become dime size. And then in the future, in the second, third, and beyond years that it's fruiting, I will thin out the plants in terms of not having so many fruit on there. Especially in the first 2 or 3 fruiting cycles, you want the plant to keep on growing. This Satsuma Orange Tree, unlike some of these other fruit trees like Myers and pear trees and apple trees, they don't tend to grow as quickly. And so this plant here that's only about a little over a meter in height, hasn't grown that much, and it'll grow very slowly. And I want it to keep on growing additional branches, keep on growing its root system. And so what I'll go ahead and do is I'll continuously in the second and third fruiting years, I'll go ahead and still pinch off most of the fruit just to give it the extra energy it needs to keep on growing its root system, stalk system, and foliage. But that's a little bit about the thinning process and the for indoor fruiting fertilizer process that I'm going to do today. Thanks and have a great day.